Guys, and welcome to films I've been watching this week, episode 2. This is for last week. I haven't watched as many as I thought I was going to do because I went to see Russell Howard on Saturday. Fantastic day, that one of the funniest experiences ever, and I would definitely recommend next time he does a tour, you go see. Also, I've started Spartacus, so I haven't had as much time to watch things because I've been focusing on that. So let's get into it. First film I watched is Would You Rather. This is I'd say relatively unknown because it's not totally under the radar. It's just not one of the blockbuster films of what you get these days. I really enjoyed it for the most part. It has a lot of good actors in it. Basically, it's a rich guy gets a lot of people in to take part in a game where you have to choose one of two options. And they're not really nice options. It's like one of them's either cut your eye or hold your breath for 2 minutes underwater. So that's the kind of thing it is. It's nothing new, it's not anything special, but I think some of the Would You Rathers are pretty good. I I didn't like the ending though, I will say that. I thought the ending was very poor. It was just pointless and stupid and completely predictable. There's a lot of good actors in here, as I've said, but the ending was just so stupid. Basically, what they've done, the people who made it, is they've got an idea to have this game as the main thing, and they thought, we can't have this on its own, we've got to have a storyline, and just put any old thing around it and passed it off because the storyline between the main character and her brother, I think it is, having some sort of disease and needing treatment, it just, you don't care for it, you don't bother about it, you don't want to know. When the guy dies at the end, you really just do not care, and you can see it coming. She shoots the end guy rather than walking away with him so that they could both live. She kills him and takes the money, and then when she gets home he dies, so she's done it for no reason. I'm going to give it 79% because, as I said, nothing special, nothing new, but it's entertaining for the most part, and besides the ending, very well done. Just good fun, I'd say. I'd recommend you check it out. It's on Netflix, which is where I watched it. So that's Would You Rather. Second film I watched is Goodfellas. I watched that on DVD. I think I've seen it before, but I couldn't remember it. And I can understand why it's one of the best, if not the best, mob movie ever. I just think all the acting is perfectly done. Well, not perfect because nothing's perfect, but it's near enough perfect to it. I just think Joe Pesci's character just stole it for me out of the three main ones. I didn't hate or like or love Ray Liotta's character. I just think he's the main character, and he's just there in it. Fantastic acting by all three main actors though, top notch for them. All the backing actors, even they were brilliant. The storyline is very interesting, it gets you into it rather than just having the regular stuff. Robert De Niro's character wasn't in it as much as I thought it was going to be, but when he was very powerful on the screen. It just shows Martin Scorsese why he's such a good director and why he's considered a genius in film, because I personally think he's fantastic. He's one of the best directors in my opinion, if not definitely top 3, maybe second best behind Christopher Nolan. I'm going to give Goodfellas 95%. It wasn't perfect, but it was very, very well done, and it's very rare that a film that gets hyped up as much lives up to expectations, but this really did. So I'm sure people have seen it. If you haven't seen it, then go check it out. Next is a film I watched on DVD as well. It's A Clockwork Orange. Now, this film just proved to me that Stanley Kubrick has one messed up mind. Messed up, but brilliant at the same time. It's just an array of good acting, gritty, dark, horrible, crime-filled hate and all that, and just it's got a deeper meaning. I thought that it was more than what it was let on to be. It was showing this guy, the main character Alex, I think his name was, showing that he is messed up, and it focuses on him. And I think Malcolm McDowell, I think his name is, puts in a fantastic performance, because he carried the film along. I mean, I'm not going to say without him the film wouldn't be as good. It probably wouldn't be as good, but I just think he was the star of the show. The backing actors, the supporting actors, weren't that bad either, to say that none of them really got nowhere near as much screen time as he did. But the storyline basically is he has a group of droogs, I think they're called, and they go around committing loads of different crimes, and he gets caught, and then they do this like test thing to rehabilitate him, and it goes wrong. He ends up trying to kill himself, and then everyone starts to think that the government are all lying and all that, and it's a really good storyline, quite interesting. I'm going to give this 94% because I don't think it was fantastically perfect, but it is enjoyable, it is memorable for definite. One thing I will say is, when I was watching it, I was looking to see if it was as bad as people made out, but I don't think in this day and age it would get banned, because it's not as bad as some things I've seen. It's definitely, I can understand why it did get banned in the first place, but nowadays I don't think it would. But that's just my opinion. And the last two films I watched go together. The first one is Fast and Furious. I have seen Fast and Furious 6 at cinemas, and I thought, well, I might as well carry on from the beginning before I go see Fast and Furious 7, because I definitely want to go see that at cinemas. I just think the acting, the storyline is actually quite decent. I mean, a lot of films just go for we've got fast cars, we'll just have them racing around, have a few crashes here and there. But this has a genuine storyline which you actually quite like. It's got likeable characters, which is always a bonus. Paul Walker is fantastic in this film, which surprised me. I always thought that he was quite a not a main star actor, if you know what I mean, like always like supporting, but he proved me wrong. And Vin Diesel did very, very well in this as well. I think that it's a film that you can just switch off and just watch without having to think too much about it, because it is just entertainment, and at the end of the day you want entertainment from a film. This film knows exactly what it is. It doesn't try to be anything else. It knows what it is, it does its job well, and it doesn't try too hard to be spectacular. It doesn't try to be an Oscar nominated film. It just knows we're here to entertain the audience, and that's what it does, and props to it for that, because it does its job very, very well. I'm going to give it 81%. What I will say is, because A Clockwork Orange has got a higher percentage, doesn't mean that on my top 100 it's going to be higher up. Just means that I think A Clockwork Orange is the better film, but I personally prefer Fast and Furious, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's a bit, if you can work out that, then yeah. But I'm sure it's the same for other people. People think this is a better film than so and so, but they prefer this one. But that might be just me. I'm sure it's not though. And the last film is Too Fast, Too Furious. I think this is Fast and Furious the first, but just carried on. It's nothing different. Besides, I think that it pushes out a bit more, and it's like the first one was a tester which did really well, and they've thought, well, more of the same, but add a few little tweaks here and there to make it a bit better. I preferred the first one out of the two, but I do think that nothing got worse. I just think it didn't entertain me as much as the first one, because it was entertaining, but I preferred the first one because I think Vin Diesel brings a lot to the film. The scene in which the garage comes out and all those sports cars come out, I just think that was such a great scene. The villain in it was a bit underdeveloped, but it's a film. You just can't. I feel sorry for people who have to review these films, because I couldn't sit and review a film like this, because it's just there for entertainment. It doesn't try to be anything else, and therefore you can't fault it on that, because it's not. It knows it's not going to be perfect, but if it entertains you, it's done its job, and you can't fault it for that. So I'm going to give it 80%, just because I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one, but I did really enjoy it still. That's the end of this week's episode.